Hello, hello. Good morning. This is Victor. Welcome to another ES Futures Trading stream. We can. I am seeing very. I mean, most of what I'm seeing now has a lot to do with what happened yesterday, with the observations that I have from yesterday, to which I am going to. Okay, wait a minute. There's something important here. Just check these whites here, right? It's not the same as yesterday, but this seems what seems to be going on here is it looks like short covering. Um, but what I was saying, what I believe is has a lot to do with what's happening now. Is yesterday I had a really short stream because I was heavily biased to the upside yesterday. But the thing about the biases is sometimes the biases is very important to acknowledge them, right? I thought the market was too short, really, very elongated to the downside, and there was going to be some opportunities here. But the thing is, you may have a good reading, but the thing is always timing. It comes down to that. And when I saw this opening, with this tremendous gap here, but not tremendous, but with a gap here, and just shooting its way to the downside, I say, wait a minute, there is something here, right? There's something here that is not is not. It was clear somehow that this was the resolution, of these longs here being forced to liquidate, here. I mean, it was just that. Also, you had, as we can see here, we have inventory, overlying inventory. I think it was long. No, it was short. My bad. It was it was getting short, and it just didn't have the market didn't make any attempt to close the gap, but it was weird. It really was weird. And I just can't hold, man. Once the market took this low here, I was thinking this area somewhere was going to be a good area to take a long, and it worked, right? Because what I saw, the market is not as weak as price was telling me. Now, following that, that is the main piece of information that I have from yesterday. The market is not as weak as price is telling me. Okay? And that is what I'm seeing now. Now, as the day opens, I say the same thing today, right? I say the same thing. The market is not as strong as as prices is telling me, but there is good reasons for these markets to go higher, and I'll explain why. We have tremendous amount of short inventory from here, from this overnight here, which is this one here. Notice that all this inventory was not touched. All this inventory is about to be in the markets just to get once it take this 95, we have a 6700 here. That can be, we can have some back and forth around this 67 mark, right? The next thing to check is closing this gap, closing this distribution, and the next thing about, there's tremendous amount of stops here. Remember, there's 5 wide, and not just that. Look at this. Look what we have above that. What we have above that, right? So it's very hard. If we don't have an appreciation for the dynamics of the market, it's going to be very hard to wrap our heads around what is going on. Now, why I say about the strength of the market? We have a spike here in the overnight, and the market opened. It didn't open below the spike, but it opened inside the spike, which is one of the trickiest, really trickiest openings. Look at this. This is short covering now. These movements are just so quick. About this. Look at this. What is it? 88. 88 is down here. Nasdaq is moving so slow, man. This opening was just so. I mean, it moved really fast here. It shoots way down the same way as yesterday, but I was looking at this, the way how this rally happened. Maybe some correction down to here, or maybe to this area, but it just didn't have it, man. I think the next thing to watch here is this one. All right, I am going to get rid of this one here. I'm going to put it here. Oh, what the heck? All right, here. All right. Let me do it here, because it has been revisited. It's not that one. This one is being checked.
Order filled.
We may have some reaction here.
Stop filled.
What I'm thinking, this can be one of those days that you can see some activity, something going on, but can be one of those days that it's going to be really hard to take advantage of that. What I'm seeing here the overnight there's a lot of activity back and forth from settle and until finally it just takes off from this area. I'm going to make it just standard profile here. I got some weakness here from this day, but obviously it's not. Market doesn't care about that today. Very prominent overnight POC. Market don't care about that. All right. Notice how this volume is starting to come here to this. Oh, something else that happened yesterday, which also prompted me to go on the long side, was this thing, volume. And notice where previous day volume was, the opening, right? Around this area, and where it opened. Where it actually opened, right? Up here, and check what it was previous day, and look at this one, how it does, right? Really high volume, maybe like 15-20%, and this was two things, right? If the market is going lower, this is volume coming to the market, right? Or it can be some point of inflection to which we may have some rebalancing in these charts that we have here, which for me was the something that had a better odds, good odds, and I talked at the time that was the resolution of this trade here, the 45-degree line trade. It's really hard to wrap our heads around that fact, right? The market dealing with this inventory from this day with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 6 days, almost more than a week, right, to deal with us. And we talked at the time that possible, potentially, this part of the trade was, the innovators getting short up here, early adopters, early majority, probably was the late majority down here in this part, maybe this part here below this area, and laggards, the laggard part of this trade were the shorts, those who were shorting yesterday here. And again, market is always a constant two-way action. Then we have another trade here that who knows that this can be this, those who were buying yesterday were part of the innovators. Okay. All right. I will have this open. This is done. Okay. I leave it here just for reference purposes. This is not valid anymore. This area here that I have here is still showing some activity here. I am keeping this. This is 76. Because these areas are areas that usually people don't see. Okay. And these round numbers, the 67, 68, 66, traders love those when a level has a bunch of zeros. There is nothing in here. There's nothing here around these levels. Let me show it again. There's nothing here. Around this, what is 67? What is 66? Well, down here. There's nothing here. It happens that during this overnight, the overnight that followed this trading day, there was significant amount of trading at the close at the 4:59 p.m. Right, just a couple of seconds before the opening, there was this huge activity, right? And that's what I say, that there can be something here, right? Not because of the 6700, but because of this. Once the market take this area, the next thing would be this closing. Just traders will be watching this low, but the weakness above this level is significant, right? But again, around this area, we have another really significant blocks that came. This came during regular trading hours of this day here, right? The same amount. We have 5,000 blocks, 4,000 contracts negotiated at once, and another one. And this is something, right? This is somebody that that wants to be seen here, right? Wants to be seen. Same down here. Same down here. Oh, I need to change the name of this. I need to change the name of the stream because it's not quality witching. It is. I forgot to do that. I don't know how to change that. Okay, let's update it to end of the week. And let's just as simple as that. End of the week. End of the week. Market dynamics. Okay, this is the second attempt for this market to take the 6700. 59, less than a minute. What worries me are these whites here. This is the same thing that we have yesterday when the market was going lower. When the market was doing this is exactly the same thing. You know? Okay. All right.
Order filled.
Market is really pushing higher here. Let's see if it can. Remember what was happening here. How much is it? About like 90. Why? That's 10 points. What was happening? He's very emotional now, man. What was happening here? Okay, let's add 6, 7. What was happening here? Okay, let's do something here. This is 36. All right. Look at this, man. Look at this up here. Look at this down here. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these areas here instead of what I'm watching here. I got a stop. I got a stop long here to enter the market here at this level here, at this area. And why I have that is because there's a bunch of stops here on the overnight. Remember, I am not telling you to do that, but now, how far my stop can be in the lower side? The risk is I want to use this 700 mark here. The market can come all the way to this one, this 84, and still be a good long, man. That's why I'm saying that this can be one of those days that's going to be really hard to take out.
Stop filled.
Can you see? Now, if you have a long here, it's just crazy, man. Let me tell you something. I have two longs, and I have been stopped in both of them. I have been stopped out in both of them. Okay, I'm going to place limit. Look at that, man. Look at that. Look at that. Come on, man. A strong market doesn't do this. It's just going too far back down. Notice where hard back is. I'm going to put a marker here so you can see. This is where hard back is. This is the open. Oh. This is the opening. Look at this. This is coming. This is just. Gosh, man. I mean, if the market comes down here, it's just too close to this area here. It can come down lower to this area here. And why I say there is just nothing here. Look at this, man. Look at this. Look at this profile. This histograms. This. Oh, by the way, my longs, well, I am using micros here. I'm not going to use futures. The risk is just, I mean, I can assess risk, right? My personal risk. The other reason, there's another reason here why I say that this can be one of those days that's going to be really hard to take advantage from. Is Nasdaq. Look, at Nasdaq usually is a virulent market. It's a market that when it has conviction, it just moves, man. It just moves. And notice what's happening. You know, it doesn't have anything. It got out of its range and now it's coming back. Now has come back inside previous range, and that is not a good sign, really. Right? Because when that happened, watch out. If that happened, the next thing that is in radar is actually the opposite side of this thing. So far, we have value higher. Okay, look at that. Look at that. All right. Let's see if the market comes down all the way down to this area. I don't see any volume here coming on its way low. Can you see? Market's going lower. No volume is coming. Pure whites, just very emotional market. Look at this. Now, market Nasdaq has re-entered previous day range. Let's see what happens in the ES. Now let me check how the other ones. Nasdaq is inside. Russell is coming down inside. Dow is the strongest. Oh, I can see something here, some dynamics here. Look at that, man. Can you see? Remember what I say? I can have a long. You can have a long here, and this can still be good here. But just look at that, man. It's just 8 minutes into the 8 minutes into the second period, and look how much it is. I mean, a market that retraces this much from this high here, it's not that strong, man. It's just not that strong.
Order filled.
Okay, I have a long here, and my stop is this, just a couple ticks below this. Okay. The market is supposed to hold this high here. If it gets back inside this range, watch out. The next thing in the low side is this one here. Is this area here. If it gets back inside this range. Look at this low. Oh, come on, this is not good. This is not good. You know what? I have moved my stop to break even here.
Stop
I
filled.
don't like this low here. I don't like it. I don't like that low. It's just. Now, this is the thing, right? My strategy calls for some movement here. You know, what I'm aiming to happen has to happen really fast. In this area here, I got another 3,000 here. I have erased it. Just I got something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like this. How can I move this? Okay, it was actually. Oh. It was actually something like this. So I'm having this area here, and it's just not having it, man. It's just not having it. And the risk, look at this low where it is, very close to the opening, very close to this high. When the market was doing this yesterday, that's when I get my long. But it doesn't have the conviction now. There can be tremendous back and forth. Now, next thing, always. There's always. One of the things that we need to be able to do is the planning part. We got to be able to be one with the market, right? I may have, as yesterday, I may have a bias. I know now I have a bias as well. But if the market says otherwise, go with the market. I mean, change it, be able to adapt. I'm not saying I am going to be trading, right? What I'm saying is if I have an opinion of the market and the market proves me different, I am not going to try to teach the market a lesson. Just can you see the tremendous can you feel this market? It's very different than yesterday. Very, very different than yesterday. Yesterday was to me at least, I feel like I have it more clear. Now it's just craziness here. I can see longs, shorts, long. Look at this, man. Look at these whites coming out of this accumulation here. I'm going to maximize this. Let's see if I can expand this histograms so we can see yesterday. Look at this. This is yesterday, the opening yesterday. Tremendous whites here, whites. All of this was white, and then suddenly out of nowhere, volume start to come here. All right, we got a long whatever. But the next thing, the trade starts to develop. But the next thing I noticed, the same thing that happened. My observation was, man, this market is not as strong as it's not as weak as price is telling me, right? So that's why I have the long. But the next thing I noticed is the same dynamics that I have when the market was going low, and the same thing started happening just after that. Tremendous whites, and the same accumulation that happened on the lower side, same thing on the upper side. Okay? And this is when you close your position here. When you close the market just couldn't take this one, didn't have it to close the gap, and that was it, man. Just that was it. Only one trade, one movement. But now I don't see that here. I don't see it here. I have one thing that is, I believe, based on what I'm seeing, the market is not as strong as price is telling me. But also, that alone is not enough, right? To take a short. And as a matter of fact, as I say, I did have a couple longs here, and I was stopped out. And the last one, as soon as the market gave me a chance, I moved my stop to break even. Just after that, I mean, it happened live, right? I was just, man, when we were having this, I just said, gosh, man, the first time this market gave me a chance to move my stop, I'm going to move it. And the market gave me a chance, I'm just moving. And as soon as I did, the market just stopped me out. There's another thing here, right? I think this is a better long here. You don't have... Now, why I would like to be long here? Nasdaq is already on its way down. Nasdaq, notice this. Right, 1, 2, 3. This could consider it corrected. Now, if we are just 15 minutes into the second period, these highs here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 highs. First, there's a bunch of stops here, but probably up here as well. That has been dealt with, right? So there is no more here, no more of that. This one's, I would say, has been dealt also. So I'm going to go ahead and just close that. Look at what we have up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we have in the upper side, this one, this one. The ES also has the same thing. Oh, there's plenty of reasons. This market has plenty of reasons to go high. And this is the thing, right? I can say that, but if the market is doing the opposite, what am I going to do? Am I going to say, gosh, this market is so wrong? Do you think that's right? Or maybe I am wrong and I need to do the adjustments. Okay. I'm going to close. I still have, Nasdaq has corrected these lows. The ES has not. To do that, this market has to check the overnight POC. I'm keeping this area. You know, the more the market revisits or goes through a certain reference, the less relevant that is. Okay. Now I have this gap here. It's not relevant anymore. This is this high. This gap has been filled. Again, man, look at this, man. Look at this. The dynamics of this thing. Yesterday, I said that this is I have observed for the week. There was a lot of things that were going on around these little ones. These distributions being closed or not. That hasn't changed. At least so far. Alright? Check this out. That hasn't changed. This market has failed to close this distribution. This high is questionable. I'm going to call it questionable here. Questionable. 926 high. All right. Notice how this market, this movement is not attracting more sellers here. Okay, it just dries here. All right. It doesn't mean anything. Right? It doesn't mean I'm going to. If I want to take a long here, this could be a good out here. But still, we have. Look at this. We have 9 more minutes to go. The market is way back, right? Way back from this high here. That's not a sign. That's not a sign of a strong market. Uh-oh. am going to start to highlight value here. POC held is the same now. Look at this. This happens. The business here is survive, man. We got survive here. This. Look at this movement here. Okay, a couple things. Look at the volume we have here. This one. This is one. How much low this? Almost 40% lower than yesterday. 40% lower than yesterday. Okay? What the market is doing here? Right? Why I can say the market is trying to go lower, right? Or I can say market is higher. But there is not just volume backing whatever the market is trying to do, there's no volume behind. This is the monthly. We have a really nice excess here. There's buying coming from this trend line. This is the weekly. Alright, so this can be a good area. What that number is 19, but the previous week low, and this is coming. This is something that I am 66.11. What the heck is that? 66.11. Okay, this is from yesterday. Huh. This is the weekly low. This is coming. Huh. This can be important here. This low is not good. Now, the next thing I want to check here is now the market has an outside bar. Has really good also printing an outside bar. To be an outside bar, this is A. To be an outside bar, the market has to print a bar like this, but has to close below this. That will give us an outside bar to the downside. Let's see what we still have 6 more minutes. 6 more minutes to go to check that. Look at that. Yesterday I was. Oh, look at that, man! Look at that. I was in the long side all day long.
Order filled.
Can the market come to this 51? I say this is 51. Let's open this thing away. So this seems to be the okay, something here is coming. So good area to take profits, 53. The thing is, I am not willing to take too much risk here. Because I have seen the movements the market is having. It just moves really fast, really quick. You know, you can see the market is doing something and then it just retrace it. You know, 5, 10 points and one. That's just too much, man. That's why I
Stop
say
filled.
I have been stopped out. I have moved my stop to break here. I am moving my stops to break evens here. You know, and again, we have 2 more minutes, we have 1 more minute. I want to see if this market closes below this A low here. Okay. I don't know why I have that here. Ooh, look at Nasdaq, man. Okay, this has been taken care of in Nasdaq. The gap has been closed, so this is not something to pay attention to. I mean, it was, right? So, man, I have this small, really small charts in Nasdaq. Look at this low, man. This low, the A low was just this. They're going to. Okay.
Order filled. $67.50. $67.50. Okay, this is not too much of a risk here. $67.50 here. That's a stop. Destination profits 653. Let's move this 53. Oh, something really close to that. I have my stop here, right here. Well, the market may come, the way how this market is moving, this can happen. The market may come up here and go up 1 tick and then come down all the way down to here. If that happens, okay, I am out, so I am at peace with that. What I am playing here is this market not closing this distribution here. Not closing this one here. Once this happens, the potential is the opposite side. The thing that I have noticed too is, you know, again, the market, this is the dynamics of this movement. not closing those distributions, but again, I am not willing to give it anything else to this market here. This market has came back to my entry point. $64. What is this? 64.75 something. Around this area. As soon as I notice it didn't close this area is where I got shut. My stop is just this one here. Potential destination this area here. It's not having it. It's not having it. You know, seller is holding here. Value is higher. The market closed the upper gap. So can you see? This is not a. See, this is how I measure risk here. What is a risk? The reward risk. Okay. This is where I entry, and this is the potential. Right? When the markets come this to this area, if it works, right? Of course, if it works, usually it doesn't come to this area. It comes a little bit. It extends a little bit more, right? But as you can see, the market is not having it, right? Market, and how much is it? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of like a 4 to 1. And the 1 is not that much really. The 1 is kind of like 2, 3 points, something like that, for 2.5 points. 2.5 to make 2.5 to 15, right? So that's not bad. You're risking 2.5 to make 15 here. Is it going to work? Who knows, man? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. I have no idea if it can work. It's coming down to zero again. What can happen here? This can have some downside acceleration from here, or it can move really fast in the opposite direction. Based on what is happening, I'm very tempted to adjust my stop again to break even here. It's just not having this. How the heck is this? This is okay. I didn't know how this works. This is works in this way. Can you see? This is come to back a couple ticks here, and then, all right, this is going to stop me out. Seems like. Okay, you know what? I want to be part of this. I'm moving again my stop to break even. I don't care if the market keeps going lower. I don't like what's happening. I have moved my stop to break even here. No, this is the first chance. I always have to be monitoring my trade, right? That's the thing. I don't like what's going on. So again, well, I was in this trade like for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. And I said, I don't like what's happening, and if this market gives me the chance, you know, to move my stop to break even, I'm going to do that.
Stop filled.
And it has. You know, I move my stop here to break even. I am out now that trade. And this is the next part comes here, right? The next part of as a trader, I got to be able to reset here. Okay, just to be able to look at it and say, you know what? It didn't work. Let's move on. I'm going to keep watching this market. Forget what happened. Right? Can you see what's can you see what's happening here now? Has just come back. This was my original stop. It has came back to that. It's extending to that. I don't lie, and it's not just and the thing here is not, how can I say this? It's like once you are in the stage in which you have to monitor your position, you're performing. So the first part is observation. Take the data the market is giving to you, it's giving us. If I see an opportunity, then I take the opportunity, right? Not always. Sometimes it just moves fast. Sometimes I hesitate, but it gives me the opportunity. And I execute the plan. Okay? Once I got the position, I have to monitor, man. Doing the adjustments, taking profits, taking losses. You got your plan, execute your plan. If the market is going against you, man, come on. What the plan says to do, you have to do. If I don't stick to my plan, the next thing I will find myself doing is, man, I will find myself playing. No, this market has to come down, man. And the assessments that we are doing since the market opened, that data, I must be able to keep track of that data. Right? One of those things was, man, I don't like this market. The first thing the market does, it doesn't look as strong as price is telling me. The second thing that we talk about here is, this can be one of those days in which we may know what the market is doing, but it's going to be really hard to take advantage of whatever is happening. That was the second thing, right? Now the third thing, at least in my case, I put a couple trades on the long side. Then I got one in the short side, and two trades. I took a couple losses there, and the other ones pretty much break even, right? Because I just didn't see the market doing what I thought the market was going to do. I am not here to tell the market what has to do, but you have to come down to this area. Come on, man. There is everything is pointing this, man. Or I have a plenty of reason to market to keep going higher. Man, come on. The market is not going to listen to me. Well, at least that's what I think, right? if you have anything here, please just let me know. And one of the things here, I mean, the game here is the business is we have to survive, man. We have to survive here. There are days that we are going to lose. Most days we lose, but we have to be able, we have to learn to take those losses, so and make those losses small. All right. So we can survive. Because there will be days that are going to be good days, and some days, occasionally, we will have some really good days, right? But if we are not here to take advantage of those days, so why are we here? Right? That's the game. Survival. We have to survive. Now, coming back to one of the things that I have seen here is we have an outside bar now, right? An outside bar to the downside. So an outside bar to the downside. Halfback is not here anymore. Notice what's happening to value, right? What's happening to value? It came from up here to down here, right? So value is moving lower. Halfback is not here anymore. But is down here. So I can see value is moving lower. And this market keeps going lower. If value cannot get back in, at least inside yesterday, got to be very careful with that, man. You know, meaning what I mean with that, this market, I mean, I am visualizing, I am imagining. This is imagination. There's a lot of imagination. We have to imagine a lot of things here, right? As we go, this market can keep trying to come lower here. You know, as I say, this could be the potential destination, and not usually market down. When market do this kind of things, usually there's some overextension from that thing. Market may keep pushing lower, try to keep lower, finally gets this, but if value does not move inside yesterday's value, that can be something to the upside. There can be something, some sort of short covering that may come out of that. That's just one scenario, remember this. It's just one scenario. There's nothing certain here. Man, if trading was that easy, everybody will be making lots of money here. And it's just not like that. No, it is hard for many people to accept that. For most people to accept that. This is one of the hardest business there is. Now, we had an outside bar, right? Upside bar to the downside. Now we have an inside bar here. So there is the possibility here that the inside bar, if this period ends as an inside bar, there can be a breakout of that thing.
Order filled.
I got no short here. Same area here. Same stop. But this market needs to come down here to this area here. Right now. Or have some extension below this low here. Aiming at this area here again. Same thing. This time I'm going to start taking moving my stop further. As the market keeps going lower, I will just keep moving my stop now into profit side. I'm not leaving my stop at break even. I'm moving my I am trailing this market as this keeps going lower. Right now I am 62. If this takes settle, I'm going to move it down here.
Stop filled.
I will stop it out here. No, 6 points is not that bad. And why I'm doing that? Because I have seen how this market, I have seen the dynamics of this market, right? The market may come to this area here, may come to this area. Where's my arrow? Okay, this market may come from here all the way down to here. All right, to this area. But I have seen how it is working. Right? It would be foolish. At least that's my opinion, right? It's my opinion, right? If I see the market's trying to come to this area here from where it is right now, but I've seen the markets doing this, and then boom goes this. Or it can be doing this, and then boom. I have seen that. I have been stopped out many times. As soon as I move my, a couple times, as soon as I move my stop to break even, you know. Actually, one tick below break-even, just enough to pay for commissions here. But two, 3 times when being stopped out, so I'm not willing to give anything, right? The market gives me something. I know now it is one of those days in which you have to just take advantage, whatever the market gives to you. 1 point, 2 points, that's enough. That's it. Okay. Unless you have any questions out there, I guess I'm going to be calling it a day for the stream. And again, before I leave, I want to just say that the main thing I have here. Okay. There's actually a couple of things. This is one. We have value here right now. What the market is doing, the market is moving lower. We have a spike. Prices are not as the prices move higher. The market's not as strong as prices is saying. Just the opposite of yesterday. All right. That's one thing. The other thing is value is up here. Relative to yesterday is higher. If the market keeps going lower, but value cannot move at least to inside, yeah, meaning to this area, right? Meaning to this area. I got to be very careful with any short position here, right? Because this can have some. There can be some short covering coming out of this. Overall, we are now in this area. Let me maximize this. No, not this one. No, that chart. Let me maximize this chart here. I'll make this smaller so we can see here. Okay. Overall, this is the first day of the December contract. So we have longs, late longs, laggards, so some liquidation here, some rebalancing that comes from this area. Overall, we are just, net long here. All these laggard loans, the emotional loans that came out of this day that followed FOMC, has been rebalanced. The market is just doing some rebalancing here. Well, that's my view of this. There's some rebalancing that's going on here. There is no give back yet here. There's not serious liquidation that is happening. Remember, volume is very, very low today. We have some volume has came yesterday. And what happened yesterday? Market was dealing with this area here, and it's my opinion again, right? This 45-degree line trade that we have this day here. So this is not more. This trade has been completed yesterday. This is potentially watch out if the market tries to come down here, but it doesn't get this. It's giving me another opportunity to take this short. Can you see? This happens so many times. But I missed that. I have missed that. I just missed that because I was saying goodbye. Okay. Those are the things, right? Nasdaq is value is very, very close to move. Look at Nasdaq. Okay, look at Nasdaq here. You have value, yesterday's value down here, and today's is just up there, man. If this can move down here, or even lower, that would be negative for this market. Notice that this is the dissonance, right, between this market and the ES. What this can be an area that the market might be willing to hold. This is the ES, okay, the daily, weekly, monthly. We are inside of this. In the daily, we are inside this range. Market has reached this opposite side of this range, has came back or may come back. 700, yeah, actually it has come back to this high here. Okay, this high here. Notice where it is. This is 90. It actually extended a little bit more. This is 90 here. A little bit more is coming back inside. It's coming back inside. The trend, the downside trend has ended. We have one time frame has ended. Literally, you have 1, 2, 3 days that we're going lower. Today has changed. This represents change. There is still some shorting going on, but it's a day again. It's a day to the upside. Let's see what the other markets, how the other markets are doing. Still some rebalancing on the bond market. My questionable buying. The 15 has started to buy from the 50s, so this can actually move higher. It's another story in the 30. Crude is taking the range. There is a breakout in crude. This is another time that the dollar has taken the 100. So this could have an upside. Gold is making new highs. Nasdaq has nice. Look, the same thing that is happening in the ES is happening in Nasdaq as well. You know, those weekly. Lower side of this trend is you know, what was support or resistance, support. Is this going to be support? Who knows? What is low is the 400. Check that out here in Nasdaq. You know, this can be some action around this. Actually, what is this? 390. Yeah, 400. Okay, Nasdaq. This gap has not been filled. Russell. Okay, there's an inside bar here. Wait, watch out. There's an inside bar here. There was an. I want to see if there's a breakout to the downside here. No, man. The Russell doesn't have anything here. Man, this is. Watch out. There can be something here. The Dow has downside potential here. The SPY has breaking the trend. Look at this, man. Look at where it's coming. We were talking about this. This is an outside bar to the downside. Let's see if this one has a breakout to the downside. You know, but the potential, if there's any breakout here, the potential is just this. I mean, I don't see anything below this area, below this 50. It's not that much, really. Can you see? You know, only 10 points from where it is now, 63 to 68. That's 5 points of risk to make 10. I don't see that's a good business. Okay. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. Hope I can see you tomorrow or next week.